We're waiting on Jerry.
Yep, that's right. Make a stroll.
The Monday, December 2nd, 2024 City of Vandalia Council meeting is now called to order. We'll start with a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we have no minutes to approve, and that brings us to communications, petitions, and awards. So at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our interim city manager, Mr. Schwieterman, for an introduction.
Thank you, Your Honor. We're very pleased tonight to introduce one of our newest employees in the Parks and Recreation team. So I'll ask Maecie Burkhardt to stand, please. She joined our team on November the 18th. She'll be responsible for all of our youth and adult athletic programs and special events. Maecie is a graduate of Ohio University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Sports Management and a minor in Marketing. She received her Master's of Sports Administration from the University of Cincinnati in May. Outside of work, Maecie serves as an assistant soccer coach and softball coach at Springfield High School, and she currently resides in Springfield, and we're happy to have her and welcome her to our team.
All right, welcome, Maecie. Glad to have you. And if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, we understand. All right, we have no public hearing, and that brings us to comments from interested citizens. So if anyone would like to make a comment, please state your name and address slowly for the record. In accordance with Ordinance 84-01, time limitation on speaking, no person shall speak on a particular matter more than 5 minutes until every member desiring to speak on that matter has had a chance to speak. Anyone wishing to make comments shall wait to be recognized for me before beginning to speak, and all comments need to be directed towards me. This is an opportunity for you to make statements. This is not an opportunity or a time or place for question and answer and debate or dialogue. Comments that amount to personal attacks of any kind will not be permitted. Only the speaker recognized to speak shall have the floor, so please be respectful and refrain from talking amongst yourselves while someone else is speaking. So if anyone would like to make a comment, again, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record and your comment. All that and nobody got up to speak. All right, we'll move on to the city manager's report. Mr. Schwieterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple items this evening. First, leaf collection. Our crews will officially end leaf collection tomorrow. However, weather permitting, that's my very soft way of saying as long as it doesn't snow and we have to use our snow plows, we'll be able to make a few more runs through the city to pick up those leaves that are left behind. The 2024-2025 annual report and calendar is almost ready and will be ready soon for distribution. And once again, we're partnering with the Vandalia-Butler High School Honor Society, and they will deliver those calendars to every residence and business on Saturday, December 21st. And just in case the weather is not great, the packages will be shrink wrapped to protect from the element. In recognition of the Honor Society and in appreciation of their assistance on this, the city will make a contribution to the Honor Society's scholarship fund. And lastly, I'd just like to remind everybody that the Christmas tree lighting and holiday market is this Sunday, December the 8th, starting the tree lighting starting at 6 p.m., the holiday market running from 4 to 7:30, and that market will be inside the Recreation Center gymnasium.
All right, thank you. We have no action items, and that brings us to old business, which we have none. And next we have resolutions. First one being Resolution 24-R-65. Mr. McDonald, by title only.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of and planting of various species of street trees from A. Brown and Sons Nursery, Inc. at a cost not to exceed $75,000.
Thank you. Mr. Schwieterman?
Thank you, Your Honor. As you know, we have been working on the street tree replacement, started with Phase 1 just a few weeks ago. Ultimately, we're looking at over 3 phases, replacing 98 trees. Staff did consult with 2 nurseries and received proposals. We're recommending entering an agreement with A. Brown and Sons Nursery for a cost not to exceed $75,000.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
I move to approve Resolution 24-R-65 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilwoman Forrest and a second by Councilman Pollak to approve Resolution 24-R-65 as presented. Are there any comments or questions from council? Call the roll.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Evelotus Weaver,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakeslee,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. Next, we have Resolution 24-R-66.
A resolution approving a final plan for the Tuskegee Airmen Drive dedication.
Thank you. Mr. Schwieterman?
Thank you, Your Honor. The City of Dayton intends to dedicate 1.73 acres of land as public right-of-way along the newly realigned Tuskegee Airmen Drive. .402 acres of this dedication is in the city of Vandalia and requires final plan approval. On November 12th, the Planning Commission voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
All right, can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move that we approve Resolution 24-R-66 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Dugan to approve Resolution 24-R-66 as presented. Are there any comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Pollak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Evelotus Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakeslee,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 7-0. We have no ordinances in their first or second reading. We do have one emergency ordinance, that being ordinance 24-24.
An ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Vandalia, Ohio during the calendar year ending December 31, 2025, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Mr. Schwieterman?
Thank you, Your Honor. This emergency ordinance would appropriate the 2025 operating and capital budget. And once again, I'd just like to thank council and staff for all their diligence in preparing this budget, putting it together. And this will allow us to move forward with our 2025 plans.
All right, thank you. And since this is an emergency ordinance, I'll open up a public hearing. So if anyone would like to comment on this ordinance, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and any comment you may have. Being none, I'll close the public hearing. Can I have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve ordinance 24-24 as emergency.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Blakeslee and a second by Councilman Follak to approve ordinance 24-24 as an emergency. Are there any comments from council? Call the roll.
Councilmember Pollak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Evelotus Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakeslee,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have reports from boards and commissions where we have BZA 24-10, a variance for a driveway entrance at 4160 Little York Road. Mr. Schwieterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. The applicant, Select Signs, on behalf of Little York Medical Center, has requested a variance to allow 5 driveway entrance and intersection signs that exceed the maximum area requirement for the property at 4160 Little York Road. The proposal involves adding 5 driveway entrance signs that are 8 square feet in area. On November 13th, the Board of Zoning Appeals voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve BZA 2410 as recommended by the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Follak and a second by Councilwoman Forrest to approve BZA 24-10 as recommended by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Any comments?
I just have one, and that's, this was before us previously, and I was voted against the variance primarily because of the sign locations that were in the right-of-way. So I appreciate the applicant coming back and working through the process, and that's why I'm supporting the change, that the signs are no longer in the right of way against our city ordinances. So, thank you.
Call the roll.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalos Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakesley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion carries 7-0. Next, we have BZA 24-11. Mr. Schwieterman.
Thank you, Your Honor. The applicant has requested a variance to permit the construction of a 576-square-foot carport for the property at 3075 Stop 8 Road. The proposal involves adding a new carport with an existing detached garage that will cause the total area of accessory structure to exceed the 600 square feet, 40% of the principal building footprint, and 4% of the lot size requirement. In addition, the carport will have a 6-inch setback from the primary building. On the 13th of November, the Board of Zoning Appeals voted 4-0 to recommend approval with one condition.
All right. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move to approve BZA 2411, the variance total accessory structure area and setback at 3075 Stop 8 Road with the condition of the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Second.
A motion by Councilman Follak and a second by Councilman Lewis to approve BZA 24-11, along with the conditions set forth by the BZA. Are there any questions or comments? Call the roll.
Councilmember Avalos Weaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Dugan,
Yes.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
No.
Vice Mayor Blakesley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-1. Next, we have BZA 24-12. Mr. Schwieterman?
Thank you, Your Honor. The applicant has requested a variance to allow the installation of a ground-mounted solar energy system for the property at 675 Waldsmith Way. The proposal involves the installation of 3 10-panel arrays totaling 30 panels in a residential zoning district. On the 13th of November, the BZA voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
Thank you. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve variance BZA 2412 at 675 Waldsmith.
Second.
I have a motion by Vice Mayor Blakesley and a second by Councilwoman Dugan to approve BZA 24-12. Are there any comments?
My only comment is that I don't like solar fields, and particularly in a residential area, but our variance structure is such that this property is somewhat unique, and it is, I guess, the perfect example of why we would want a variance. It is over 5 acres of ground. It's completely shielded, and it doesn't cause any of the neighbors in the neighborhood any type of problem. And so, in this unique situation, I think it's a good use of the variance.
Thank you for articulating what I was thinking or going to say, and that was the reason why I brought this.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to echo that, I also notated that they bought the property before the zoning change went into effect, and so that figured into my thought process as well, so.
It's shielded at this point, but we're not requiring it to stay shielded.
Good point.
Mr. Graham, did that come up during the BZA meeting at all? What, if the owner decided to take down those trees or anything like that? Oh, I'm sorry. I circled it here.
Due to the location of the solar panels and the distance from surrounding properties, the screening really didn't come up in any specific fashion. I think the consensus was that if they complied with the screening requirements as they were when they bought the property, which generally would require them to keep it at least somewhat screened, that seemed to be acceptable to the BZA.
Okay, thank you. All right, are there any other questions or comments?
So
if we're just making an exception for this one property, we're not taking a chance on setting a precedent for ground-mounted solar panels?
No, we are not. It is, variances are always unique to the property.
Okay, thank you.
All right, call the roll.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Dugan,
No.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
Yes.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Blakeley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
Yes, and the motion passes 6-1. Next, we have BZA 24-13. Mr. Schwieterman?
The applicant, on behalf of Excel Automotive, has requested a variance to permit the installation of a new wall sign on the building's secondary facade for the property at 2 East National Road. The proposal involves adding a 47.75 square foot wall sign, which is 10.25 square feet larger than permitted, on the building's secondary facade facing North Dixie Drive. On the 13th of November, the BZA voted 4-0 to recommend approval.
All right, thank you. Can I have a motion?
Your Honor, I'll move that we approve BZA 24-13.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Lewis and a second by Councilwoman Fairst to approve BZA 24-13. Are there any questions or comments concerning this one? Call the roll.
Councilmember Lewis,
Yes.
Councilmember Follak,
No.
Councilmember Fairst,
Yes.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver,
No.
Councilmember Dugan,
No.
Vice Mayor Blakeley,
Yes.
Mayor Herbst.
No, and the motion fails
3 to 4.
3-4.
Yep.
All right, we've had an opportunity to review the Bicycle Advisory Committee meeting minutes of May 6th. Are there any comments or questions regarding those? All right, that brings us to council comments, and we'll begin with Mr. McDonald.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Mr. Schwieterman.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Councilmember Avalotis Weaver.
I just wanted to congratulate our fire inspector, Jacobs, on his, is it a class or, yes, class that you've been inducted to for 2025. We're looking really forward to you getting to go there. And you said it's a very unique class. I was trying to read it all right before I got in here, so do you want to tell us about it a little bit? Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I applied for last year. It's a class called the Ohio Fire Executive, which is sponsored through the Ohio Fire Chiefs. It's a 2.5-year program, kind of designed to help accelerate and emphasize education, leadership, and mentorship within the fire service. And we received notification today that I was accepted in the class that starts in April.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations, thanks.
All right, yeah. Very excited for him, and I hope that everybody does make it out to the tree lighting. It's going to be exciting, and a lot of people put a lot of work into that, so see you there.
All right. Councilwoman Fairst.
Nothing else this evening, thank you, though.
Councilmember Follett.
Just to congratulate Fire Marshal Jacobs. Also, congratulations to Assistant City Manager Cron and Public Service Director Borton and whatever their staff was involved in the successful application for the OPWC funding for one of our 2025 water main replacement projects. So as long as that gets approved at the state level, that's about $500,000 worth of outside funding of a $1.2 million project. So congratulations and thank you for that. And then just a quick question or request on the leaf collection. Will we, I know, do we stick to the same schedule by zones on days, and will that be published to the public, or is it just, we just kind of work multiple pickup zones until, I guess, how are we going to communicate that to the public that they're coming back through to do more pickups? Sorry.
Yeah, so right now we're finishing up section 9. Then we'll start on section 10. So then that'll wrap us all up. And then after that, we're just gonna have to just start from section 1 and just go through the city. So really, we don't have a specific day on when we're gonna hit that spot. But we do always have citizens that always call in and say, hey, they might have missed my leaves, and we can go and pick those up, so.
Can we, so do you think like we'll start like by Thursday?
Thursday would probably be section 1 and starting that.
So I don't know if we can just put something out to the public that there'll be one more pickup starting, just so people have time to prepare. I mean, because I know that
Yeah.
people, if they're following the map, they think they're done. And if they know that there's at least one more coming, they can spend the next 2 days in the bitter cold getting their leaves out to the curb.
Yep.
And so they don't miss the trucks and,
Understand
Yeah, I think the best advice we can give tomorrow will be on social media, that if you haven't got it to the curb, do it by Thursday, because we're going to make a very quick passage
Yep.
starting at 1. But we can't really dictate when we're going to get to 2. It'll be a very quick thing. So everybody just have it out there by Thursday morning.
yep, that will work. Thank you.
My advice would be wait till it snows.
I guess one thing to note, and I know we try to say this a lot, but the reason we have our schedule and we stick to it, and why our schedule seems early for some people, is the big trucks that we use picking up these leaves have to get ready for snow and ice. They're the same vehicles we have. We do have some, the leaf vacs that will go out in the smaller areas. We use them in the cul-de-sacs, and the issue with those is they won't pick up the piles once they get wet and frozen. They're chunks. This is just a vacuum thing, so those won't pick up some leaves at that time. So we are limited on how far we can go into the winter and pick those up. It's not just that we don't want to be out there in the cold doing it. The trucks have to get ready for snow, and the vacs will not work when they're frozen in big hunks out there.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Lewis.
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Councilwoman Dugan.
Nothing, thank you.
Vice Mayor Blakesley.
See you at the tree lighting. That's it.
All right, that was going to be my comment also. It's always a good time when we light the tree and see Santa Claus, and it's a good time for the kids, and we're really looking forward to it. So with that said, this meeting is adjourned.